Well, there you are again. Charlie Greer podcast. Again, I do this every day. Today, the Pantera Reunion is a good thing. Awesome. Uh, yeah, do it. People, naysayers talking shit. No, um, the world needs a Pantera Reunion. I'm serious. We need some good music. We need a Mouth of War. Come on. Are you soulless? You wouldn't want to be there. Like just I mean, yeah, there's life ain't perfect, right? But we need a Pantera reunion, man. They and they're doing it right, in my opinion. This is my humble opinion again. Uh, so you got, and everybody knows, but you got Phil Anselmo and Rex Brown coming back, the singer and the bass player. Great. Phil is a great singer. Pretty much invented the a genre, if you will. Again, my humble opinion. He's still out there doing it too. Shit, how he? The hard part's making it look easy. One gig could you do? I was like, oh, try it. Then they got Zach Wild. Oh fuck, man, dude, Zach, awesome. Again, I'm gonna be saying awesome a lot. Charlie from Anthrax. It does shit. Oh man, they're gonna be tight. It's gonna be good. And I hear that Zach Wild is who was in Ozzy and Black Label Society, and of course he's Zach Wild. I heard that he's using like Dimebag's gear and original tech. That's gonna sound amazing. And just the whole thing. I mean, again, I can see where people are like, but we need people to get together. We need music. We need good live shows. We need Pantera. Legendary. How much booze are they got? Can they their livers survive a Pantera? Are any of them sober? I think Zach's sober, maybe Phil. The How much booze is on the rider? But yeah, in my humble opinion, I think it's awesome. I think it's going to be probably the tour of the year. As soon as it comes close, man, I'm going. I need to go bang my head a bit. Pardon me. But yeah, Pantera. I mean, again, when they were coming up, like that album in '90, I was already in a band. In 1990, I was like 19, I think I was, or I was like 19. And Cowboys from Hell. I was already in a shitty like cover band, half originals, half covers. Just coming up. I was doing my own thing. Or I was in a band, our band was doing our own thing. But I'd known about Pantera since like all through the 80s because they were Pantera. They released like, was it 3 or 4 albums before they had Phil? And they were more like of a rock kind of 80s band. And so you would see like Metal Edge and Circus Magazine, these magazines, you would see the ads for this band, Pantera. They were always like in the back of the magazine, like every issue for like, I think years. So he's kind of like, and then you run across like, what was that one? Power Metal. I think I had the cassette. Like I came across, or you trade, because there's be a lot of like music swapping and trading and this, that. So I knew about them. And then Cowboys from Hell came out. It's like, yeah. Well, everywhere I was at, people like, and this the tone, the groove, drop D. Everybody's saying, well, see, they kind of, people have done it before, but they mastered the, and again, that riff from Mouth of War, blah, 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 blah. I can still play that. I think I used to, and Dimebag is not with us, and so is Vinnie Paul, his brother. Legends. Dimebag is I never met him, but his whole tone, his whole thing, unique. Playing those Deans and the Randall amps, and it was more, he had his own thing. How did he keep that guitar in tune? I mean, he was playing with her Kaler tremolo. you just kind of get near. I've got one of my juniors has a Floyd Rose on it, but it's the shell of like a Korean Floyd, and then the guy I got it from put like titanium part. I mean, it's got titanium parts to keep that thing. And I've kind of got it butted down. It is like, what? No, it's just kind of more like a Bigsby, and it stays in tune pretty good. But it's got like a locking nut. I'm really not into that, but it's a Junior. It's like a copy of like a 1959 Les Paul Junior white, and it's also got that Dimebag Darrell pickup in it. It's got the with the big screws and the bridge pickup. What is that called? Anyway, it's an amazing pickup. It's as powerful as it is. It's got clarity, you know. That's one thing about Dimes. He had like a good clean sound too. Besides, I mean, his rhythm tone was just thick and bottom end. His lead tone cut. His cleans were awesome. And Vinnie Paul, I mean, people know this, but man, it's dig it. I mean, shit. Zach and Charlie got they got some work. But how much fun they're gonna have? I mean, how much is it? And people are like, oh, it's a money grab. Well, you know what? I mean, for one, we need Pantera right now. Just the world, what's going on, dismal shit, and might as well make some money. Why not, man? That's good for the economy. That's good for everybody, man. Dude, I'll go. I'll buy a T-shirt. Hell, I don't tour magazine. I got the tour, you know, fanboy. Again, the songs, and also Pantera, as heavy as they are, they got catchy songs. Like a lot of these harder bands don't have like I don't know. Pantera's is a little more catchy. Choruses are a little better within keeping within that context of like brutal rock and roll, metal, whatever you want to call it. It was, again, it's almost like they took a little bit out of the 60s kind of writing style to put it their own. You know, it isn't like a lot of these bands are just kind of just, you know, there isn't any melody. See, there's a little melody in Dimebag solos. There's footage of him on like YouTube when he was like a teenager, just shredding. Just what the hell? Who was it? And supposedly he had won all these guitar contests. That's how he got that Dean, I guess. Again, he invented those guitars weren't cool to play. You know, he made it cool. He made it. Anytime you see one of those, even if it's his model, because he's had these models, you think of Dimebag. And every drummer that knows anything will mention Vinnie Paul as one of the best. And you can't leave out Rex, because if it wasn't for that rhythm section, the bass and the drums tight. Like Rex is just in the pocket, man. He's not, you know, he's shit. They the original Pantera, probably one of the best live bands. Can you imagine having to, like, if they open for you, like having to go on after them every night? No, just kick them off the tour and make up some excuse. Come here. My dogs love to fight or harass each other, whatever they do. And again, that tone. And technically, Dimebag was using those Randall's RG80s or 100s. They're a solid state amp. Good. They're great amps. I mean, they got punch. Also, the clean channel is good for acoustics. The acoustics, put a little chorus pedal in front of it. Hey, shimmery. And then the one that I had you could blend the clean and the dirty. So you could have like that bottom end, that clean kind of punch, and then that distortion over. And then Dime had his own like stuff. About maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3, I don't know, a couple of years back, I used to sell a lot of guitars and amps and trading and this, that, and the other in LA. I used OfferUp, the app. I used Craigslist. And then once you get to know, people buy guitar, sold so many guitars. And I did a deal and it was like I think I was buying like a whole lot, like a lot, like there was like 8 guitars, some amps, this, that, and the other, about, and I was, and I think that's what it is. And then there was this amp. There was one of the amps I got was a combo, a Randall combo. It was kind of crazy looking. It had like camo Tolex with a metal grill. It was a dime bag amp. I think it had like a 12-inch speaker. Maybe it was like 40 watts. Monster. This thing was brutal. Like it didn't have, you could turn the volume all the way down and it still was like almost too loud to practice in your house. And if you just touch that volume knob, it would like, it went from like, that thing was brutal. And so I got it. I got the, bought the stuff, got the tray, whatever. And then I had it in my living room with my other amps. And I was like, I'll never sell this. I Googled them and it was like a limited run. They only made like 250 or something. Shit. Anyway. And I kind of used it not as a joke, but people would come and go in my apartment. I know guys in the vans and these elitist kind of hipster, I only play, just that kind of thing, but they're friends. I mean, I had it up because it also had a line out. I could run like a 412 cab. So I had it on a 412 cab sitting there. At first I would just play it without the cab. I'd be like, people like, what is that? It's a camo and metal grill. I was like, oh, that's a dime bag amp. Man, it's better. It's not what people were shocked. Like, what in the hell? How can I get one of these? I was like, well, good luck finding one. I mean, so I'd play it to them, then I'd plug in the speaker. So it literally turned into like a head. You're powering like a 412 monster. And then I was maybe in a lesson. I was teaching someone. Anyway, I'd have it out. I had other amps. And if people wanted, that's the amp I would use. Literally on zero. I'd turn it. It was I don't know if it had a power surge problem or something. That thing just was born to rock. I had somebody, I was jamming. I don't know if it was a lesson or something was going on. And they're like, man, I want that amp. And I was like, no, I'll never sell it. And they kind of continue. Yeah, I want that. And man, finally he offered, it was a good deal. And I can't remember if it was like, it was an American telly with a Mexican telly. Like he gave me are you kidding me? And I did. I traded the amp and I ended up selling those guitars, 6 months, whatever. Because there's a lot, at the time that's what I did. That was my house, selling, go, sell that stuff. Regrets, wish I still had it. But I think that for one, you got Charlie from Anthrax. That's going to bring in the Anthrax kind of Anthrax. I love Anthrax. I saw like last week footage of them recently with Chuck D doing Bring the Noise. Bro, again, could you even follow that? Could you even actually have a band and be like, yeah, we're going to go on after they do Bring the Noise with Chuck D? Huh? Like that, you could end your career. I mean, they were so good. And Chuck D too. And Anthrax is tight. I mean, Zakk Wylde he's just a legend. Can play about everything. I've seen him play like chicken picking, man. Like country, classic, every rock and roll. I mean, shit. He's a jefe. And then Rex and Phil, they're, why would you not want to be? Why would you not want to support this? I mean, I think it's awesome. I think these guys, and I think they're going to mow through, maybe show these other bands how it's really supposed to be done. Again, I hope they're in pre-production right now, like rehearsal, because people understand about a tour. It's like, and you're also older. Again, these guys are road dogs. I think they all just tour, that's what they do. So I couldn't do it. Like I'm saying, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even roadie, it traveling and this and that, not sleeping. And, the band, of course, but it's still, people think that it's a gig takes a lot out of you. You got to, Get a lot of baby wipes and Pedialyte or whatever. Just, B12. I mean, everything. And that Zach is using his gear. That is cool. That is like, are the settings still there? Has his Roadie or what in his tech? It's like, oh, let's just plug it in and go, because Dime had this, he would use like I think it was an MXR, like a graphic equalizer. That was, key to his tone. Because there's secrets of like, I had a buddy in LA when I was in La Mata. What he would do is he had like a 50-watt, like master volume Marshall from like the late 70s, early 80s, a 412. And then he had this like a EQ pedal. And then on the side, it had like a dB of gain, like 10 dB, whatever it was. So he wasn't using it. That was his sound. Like, I don't know if he ran it flat, he had a bell curve or something, but man, he cranked that boost and it was like a clean boost. And it sounded good, but man, once it was like, damn, you learn these little secrets. Like, you can use a chorus pedal, and maybe Dime did this. I know that the dude from Was, like Chris Holmes, did this. These little chorus pedals or rack systems, it gives a boost. So you can turn down all the effect of the chorus and just get that kind of boost. I mean, Michael Schenker, that's what he was known for. He would, that sweet spot on the wah, he just kind of just set it there instead of want, because it gave it a little boost and it kind of gave it like, I don't know, what do you call that? Like out of phase kind of. Dime, and this is before the internet. You just had to do it. Like Dime was just like, oh, a kid playing every day and looking, searching. But those Randall heads he used, I could see why they're disappearing. I should have bought them when they used to be like $200 or $300. Those, and then they had some of them that were like covered in this gray carpet they did in the 80s. Are horrible, heavy, but man, they sound great. And those were kind of a secret weapon for people in the studio. So they were even before Dimebag, like Sammy Hagar was using those. I think George Lynch used them and helped design like one of the, something like that. And is Charlie going to use Vinny's stuff? Well, we shall see. I never got to see Pantera back in the day. I was in a band by then when they kind of popped off and exploded. When it was like 92, 93, whenever they, I was in another band, and we were doing our thing. We released an album in like 92, or was it 91? Anyway, we were doing and we were kind of a heavy drop D, drop C, whatever it was. And we took a page out of Pantera's book, just solid, just, the band would rehearse. For one, we were loud too. Love Engineer, I was in a band called Love Engineer. We were loud. I even tried to use like ear play. It didn't know. Made it even more disorienting because you're kind of muffled and no shit. So we looked up to these guys. They were doing it. They weren't like and this is also the grunge. See, we were doing like heavy stuff, my band, and they were the only. I mean, really, they were charting. Like Pantera was a thing. They had like a #1 album. And just the tone. And they were a band. It wasn't like 4 dudes that are playing. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call it a band. You band together. And a lot of people can't tell, but I can tell the difference of guys. It's there's a couple of them, and there's not a band, Even with us, we would rehearse religiously, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We all had jobs and stuff. And then we got to the point where we were playing out so much and out of town. That was we didn't have to rehearse as much because we were just playing so much. And a band like Pantera, that same thing happens with them. They're just on the road. They just shit. So I know that the Pantera tour, they're doing like I said, this Hell in Heaven Fest. That's the first thing they're doing. It's like a festival. And I'm sure they'll hit festivals around. And But are they gonna like have a tour, like hit North America and who's gonna open for them? Who are they gonna get? I'm sure they're gonna get some younger bands that are, but I'm sure they're gonna announce this. They're gonna announce. They're gonna have to. You got to book that stuff in advance. You know, maybe people already know. I bet promoters are excited. Oh, Pantera, you know, bands. This is a really great thing. I'm all for it. I think like hell yeah, no pun intended. And it's also a celebration of Dime and Vinny and their music. You know, I'm sure they're going to have some kind of you know, moment in the show or footage behind something. They're going to have a celebration. I'm sure they're going to bring other people up. Who would not want to jump on stage with them? I mean, for one, they all know that those guys know all the, you know, the good, all the people that are good, I should say. But yeah, I'm all for this. I think it's everybody should be supporting this. Let bygones be bygones or whatever. If you're a fan, then you know, of course, you want to support it. And I'm sure they're gonna again slay. They're just gonna you know, teach the youngins how it's done. I mean, Phil is brutal. Like his singing is just he's a great singer. He's got, I mean, this his lung, you know how hard that is? Night after night after night. He is leaving it. I mean, I don't even think I could think of another singer that is as intense as he is. Like back in the day, he shit. And even like he still tours. He's got other bands, and he's, you know, again, I don't know him personally, but I'm a fan. I was a singer. I used to teach vocal. I know how hard this is. You're breathing and you're in but some people are just that's what they do. So that they just become, and that's, you know, try one Pantera song, sing like he does. You'll be huffing blood pressure, you know. Maybe not. Maybe there's, you know, again, I'm older. I'm in my 50s now. I'm sure they are too. But the young people that are Pantera fans need to see this, and they will. Pardon me. I'm sure right now they're mowing lawns and selling Bitcoin, whatever kids do now, to get the money to go see Pantera. Should they do some kind? I don't know. I'm curious to see like what this tour is gonna involve, like what's going on, who, what, and where. It's gonna be great. So I hope everybody will like support the band. Go out and have some fun. But I do this every day. I rant and rave about everything. And I'll be there too. Love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.